What's going on?
It is low today.
It's a negative low, yeah, that's what we want.
Yep, get things loaded up here and see if we can make something
Let's make it happen.
On today's episode, we're fishing with Captain Matt Cowart of 352 Inshore. He really focuses on the Big Bend region from Cedar Key all the way up to Keaton Beach.
Set in there, there you go.
That's good in there.
Yeah.
It seems like we got a lot of bait moving out here. Let's see if we can do that again.
Yeah.
All right, so we just made a decent little run. It is super low and still going out. What's the plan?
Plan is we, it's low, so we're gonna find this trough where the last little bit of water is on a low, and it's got the fish kind of holed up here, so they can't really go anywhere else.
This time of year, you're usually seeing some big trout, some redfish.
Yep.
It's kind of a mixed
Just
bag.
a mix of trout, redfish, black drum, flounder. It's kind of got it all in this little system here.
Well, as you can see, they ain't got many places to go, so they got to be right here.
That's exactly right. I mean, we'll probably see tail and redfish on the edges pretty soon. I'm looking for one right now. This is a good spot for them to start tailing right here where we start. So we're just going to work our way in.
Let's see what happens.
So Brandon reached out to me about a month ago wanting to do some fishing up here in Horseshoe Beach. It's a great time of year for redfish and trout here, so that's what we're going after.
So what we got here is an outgoing tide still, and it is super, super dry. You can see, I mean, we got basically grass sticking out on both sides, and we got a trench that's about 4 or 5 feet deep, and that's what we're looking to catch those trout in.
Yep. When we're just throwing jigs in here, letting them sink, working the water column. You know, this trench goes for about a mile, and they're kind of all over out here on the flats, you know. So you just pick one and kind of figure it out where they're hanging out at.
Seems once you find one when it's colder like this and you get in that right hole, you'll catch a bunch of them out of one hole. So you just move pretty quick, and then once you get them, you'll just sit there and you can hammer them for a while until that tide gets up too high.
Yep. I've been guiding up here for 10 years, all up and down the Big Bend region. This is one of my favorite areas to fish during the winter time. Got a lot of big trout here, big reds, big schools of fish starting to show up. So I'm excited to show Brandon what we got up here. See if we can't catch some fish up here in Horseshoe. There you go.
Ooh, that's a nice one there.
That is a good one.
An old yellowmouth head shaker. There you go. Nice one.
Yeah.
That is a solid trout to start the morning right there.
Yeah.
18, 19 incher. Beautiful fish.
Should be a lot more to come just on something simple jig.
So Matt and I have fished against each other in tournaments for several years now, and I've known his name for a long time, but about 6 months ago we were at a wedding actually and got to talking about it, and I reached out to him a few months ago. I've never fished with him before, but he's always posting and catching a bunch of big fish, and a lot of my buddies have fished with him and just had great success, so I knew going out on the water today we were going to catch him. So what's cool about fishing these holes is you really never know what's going to be laying on the edge, whether it be a trout, a redfish, a nice flounder like we just caught here. I mean, really, it could be anything on any cast, so you're not really targeting one species. You're really trying to catch anything.
And you work the bait the same way for it all, you know. You're just working the water column, bouncing jig, pull whatever's in there out. You know, the fish are all in the holes, so you don't know what you're pulling out until you get it to the boat.
Really see that tide's starting to come up, and the activity of the fish is starting to change a lot too. I'm starting to see some fish move around here, so it's a little bit higher it should get, the better the fishing should get. So really this morning we started off with a really, really low tide, a negative, I mean, it was one of the lower I've seen fishing up there in the past 5 years or so. And we had a game plan. We were gonna run in and fish these deeper troughs and potholes where basically nowhere else to fish besides in there. So we started in there and started picking off at a couple fish and really worked from there. We moved up to the rocks. We knew those big trout and the redfish, when that water's colder, they're going to be going for that shallow water that was exposed because it's going to be the warmest. So we started in the deep, and then we eased up with the tide and got on those shallow rocks, and that's when we saw our most success.
Set in there. There you go.
That's good in there.
Yeah.
That thing absolutely clobbered it.
It was a matter of time, geez. Oh, it's big.
I did too. At first, I thought this is a light rod.
It must be.
A lot lighter than that other one. I went to lighter so I could make a longer cast.
Yeah.
And
There you go.
there we go. Get things fired up. Pretty fish, nice mid slot. That's what we came for.
All right, so on the negative water, we're trying to find the last little bit of water where the outgoing is kind of pushing the fish into those last little pockets of, you know, grass and holes that are the last spot where those fish can hold up on that negative tide. And as soon as the tide turns to start coming in, the fish just really start chewing. There he is.
There you go. Nice one too. Made a bunch of casts right there before
Right
that thing.
over that,
I mean,
you know, that same area.
that was 15 or 20 casts before we finally decided to commit.
Yep. So you just got to put it right in front of them.
Yeah. Another nice one, man.
Oh, it's the same fish you just had. Right there.
Oh, another nice one. So many casts right there. That's
Exact
crazy.
same.
You just got to put it literally right on their nose, and it's tough to do in that dirty water, but persistence.
Yeah, I mean, it's literally a foot of water everywhere.
Yeah.
If that, just fan cast in this area, you know, and we've casted in this spot 5 or 6 times, power pole down, 6 casts, you get rewarded.
Man, it's been a good morning so far. We catch a few more of these, and it's going to make our day.
That's right. That's what we're here to do, and it's just now getting turned on, it seems like.
I'll let you let this one go, and we'll get back out there. So these rocks that we were fishing, especially in the afternoon, in the morning time, they were all the way out of the water, probably a foot or 2. That sunlight was able to beam on them for basically 5 or 6 hours before we got there to fish them. And when it's big negative like that, all those fiddler crabs and little creatures will get out there by the rocks. Well, the tide comes up and the redfish move in for the warm water and plentiful food. There he is. Another quality fish. Another nice one.
Another mid slot.
Mid slot. Having to work around here a lot for him, but you just can't see them. But once you get them right in front of them, they eat about every time. Matt, we had that pretty good lull there for a while. I mean, we didn't get a bite or so for an hour and a half, 2 hours. What really changed to get that bite fired up?
Yeah, it takes a little while for the water to really make a difference. The tide turns, but it takes a minute, you know, an hour and a half for the tide to really get up for the fish to start moving. Once that tide gets up, they're going to start pushing, you know, toward the shoreline, toward the structure.
It seems like these birds are starting to dive a lot more activity here in the last 30, 45 minutes.
Exactly.
And we've been rewarded with a few nice fish.
Yep.
I'm sure we'll catch a few more here.
They're really getting turned on. You know, with the bait getting more active, the sun's getting up, the tide's getting up. It's all the combination, you know.
It does seem that mud that's out of the water, those fish will really go up on that mud because it's warmer than the rest of the water that wasn't exposed.
Yep, it's been in that direct sunlight, you know.
All those fiddler crabs and things that were up on that mud, they can mill around and eat those.
Yep. Yeah, let's get this guy back in the water and do it again. Catch a few more.
Sounds good to me. Matt and I were fishing, and even the redfish that we were catching in that 23 to 26 inch range, and especially the trout, they're really fat fish. They're eating really, really well up there. Year round for me, it seems like that zone has some really healthy fish. So never fishing with Matt before, you really don't know what you're going into in the day, not fishing with someone, what they're like, how they are to fish with. But I enjoyed being on Matt's boat. We fished really well together. We kind of thought a lot alike, and it was really nice to be able to just get on his boat and enjoy a day of fishing with someone that is an excellent fisherman. Fishing up in the Steenahatchee, Keaton Beach, Horseshoe Beach area, the fish seem to be really fat and really healthy. I mean, even the 24-inch redfish are just like footballs. And I think their food source and what they're able to eat, whether it be shrimp, mud minnows, crabs, there's such a range of fish that they can, or crabs or crustaceans that they can eat on. It really helps these fish grow thick.
There he is.
There he is. Nice. Followed him up right there. Just had him a second ago too.
Decent fish.
That tide got up here pretty good now and
Yeah.
started to, we moved right here on top of this bar and those fish are just setting up. Perfect.
Perfect.
Man.
Feeding. We'll be feeding this whole incoming.
Nice one. Another just nice fish. They're all pretty respectable fish. I mean, no real small ones today. Nice. Man, it's really starting to fire up. This morning was a little slow, but the bite this afternoon is just hot.
It is. It's got that water's getting up on the bars and fish are starting to feed good now.
Absolutely. We'll get that one back in the water and catch another one.
Yeah, while they're still biting. So here in Horseshoe, we have a super healthy fishery, lots of fish, big grass flats, just flush, beautiful grass, a lot of potholes, a lot of trout, a lot of reds, a lot of big reds. This place is really mainly known for the big trout. We have a lot of trout over 20 inches, up to 30 inches, and it'd be nothing better than getting branded on one of those big gator trout.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, big trout right there.
Woo! Roll the nets up.
Oh my God, head shaking, big. My God, look at the size of that trout. Woo. That's what we've been looking for all day.
That's what we come up here for right there.
That's what you come to Steenahatchee for right there.
That's right.
Woo.
That one there.
That is what we call a mammy trout. That is a gator right there. Absolutely smoked that lure. That's probably right here.
Well, I mean, it's in the net, it's in the fish, a little mixed.
That is an absolute trophy trout for the Big Bend region. I mean, that fish is 24, maybe 25 inches fat. It's got to be pushing 5.5, 6 pounds, something like that.
That's what I would say, 5 pounds.
Absolute brute of a trout. Biggest one I've caught in a long time.
Yeah, that's what we come up here for, looking and sorted through some reds and found a true trophy trout.
That is a true trophy trout. We'll get her back in the water, let her breed here in about next month or so. I mean, a trout like that's very delicate and we're gonna take good care of this fish. Hey guys, so on today's episode, we had a variety of baits, but we had really 4 or 5 key baits that caught most of our fish. Starting off, when that tide got up, I picked up this Z-Man chatterbait. And this is a jackhammer 3/8 ounce Clearwater shad. I had a kicker crabs on the back of it, which kept it right above the rocks and kept it in that strike zone. That was really, really good when that tide got up over the oyster bars and things like that for redfish. But what we did most of our damage on was this chinlocks hook with the kicker crabs on the back is what I was throwing most of the day to catch those redfish and some of the trout. But Matt was throwing a paddle tail, either a Z-Man diesel minnow, or he had a few other paddle tails that he was throwing, but mostly in that watermelon red color seemed to be the best, or more of a natural tan pattern, like a shrimp pattern. This was a key bait. We caught a pile of fish on this rig. It's very weedless. We were able to fish in that really shallow water and picked up some key bites there in the midday section. To catch those couple big trout, and the biggest trout of the day, it was on the Savage Gear twitch bait. This is a suspending bait. We were throwing it in with those mullet, and that made a big key. Most of our tackle today, or actually all of it really, on our spinning rods is 15-pound diamond braid and 20-pound illusion fluorocarbon. This is on a BGMQ 4000 and a 7'6" TD sole rod. On the chatterbait, and you saw me slinging around a couple different of the soft plastics on this 7-foot TD sole by Daiwa, 8-to-1 Daiwa Coastal. This allowed to pick up a lot of line and not get hung in the rocks. 30-pound diamond braid, and then the 20-pound illusion fluorocarbon. This stuff is super, super strong. I was very impressed. When I was catching those fish on this jackhammer, they were really digging their head in those oysters trying to break it, and it just did a phenomenal job to get fish in the boat. And last but not least, this rod, it was an absolute killer for me today. It's a Certate 3000 paired up on a 7.6 medium light. In that wind, it allowed me to make a really long cast with 10-pound diamond braid and 20-pound fluorocarbon. I was able to reach those mullet and those milling mullet and that shallow stuff that we couldn't quite get to, and had a lot of success on this rig.
Got him. Got him.
That thing yoked it. God, when they eat this thing, it is.
Oh yeah, I love that. Because it's like you're hooked up to it. There's no slack in your line
at all.
You know? You got like,
There's no question about it when they eat it.
on the jackhammer. I think some more just pushed up out there, right toward that boat.
And that water's starting to warm up a little bit.
Yeah, it's warming up nice.
The fish are biting. Another nice one. So fishing in Matt Simmons was a huge factor in being able to get to these fish. I mean, we were running in 6 to 8 inches in the morning, just getting after it. The birds were standing, and we got back in those ditches, and everything was exposed besides these little tiny trenches where we ran into. And then as the tide come up, we still stayed in that super shallow water for most of the day. And without that boat, or without a technical poling skiff, you could really do some damage on your boat. So Matt, it makes a big difference being up high there, especially in this little bit muddier water, to even not as much see the fish, but be able to cast to the holes where the fish are laying.
Exactly. Yeah, when you get elevated like this, you can really see the depth change. Sandbars and grass patches, sand holes, you know, deep spots.
Seems like most of the fish we've seen and most of the fish that we've hooked have been in those little tiny pockets that are hard to see unless you're up high there.
Yeah, exactly. They're just sitting down in there waiting on that tide to just push something, you know, kind of in their face.
Really is a big advantage to be up there that high.
Yep.
Every chance I get to go up to Horseshoe Beach, Steenahatchee, Keaton Beach, it is honestly one of my favorite places to fish in the state of Florida. I mean, the fishery is just so good, and catching those big trout and being able to mix in those redfish, I mean, there's really no other place like it.
Got him. There he is.
Yeah. Saw that mud up there.
Yeah.
There might be a school of them up there, honestly. I've seen a bunch of mud.
Yeah, I see that.
Going for the rocks. Oh. Working that kicker crabs through there slow and got hammered. Man, Matt, we said we were gonna end it on the next one, but The potential is right here. We're seeing some big fish. I think we can catch one a little bit bigger than this one. We'll give it a few more minutes.
Yeah, that's for sure.
So fishing in Steenahatchee, Horseshoe Beach, Keaton, I've always enjoyed fishing there since I was a little kid because any cast can be something different, whether it be a trout, a redfish, a flounder, black drum. I've seen some snook up there lately. That's really cool because most places you're having to fish different areas to catch these, but they up there in that Keaton Beach area, they're all mixed in and you never know what you're gonna catch on any cast.
There he is.
Big trout, I think.
Yep.
Oh, it might be a small red, I don't know.
Well, it's hard to tell, ain't it? It shook. It's a small red. Decent red, actually.
I can't express to y'all enough how good today's episode went, and if y'all are ever looking to get up in this area and catch some of these big trout or redfish, Matt is your guy. He is absolute money. I mean, his personality and how fishy he is, I mean, you have to check him out if you're in the area. It was just one of those special days that you dream of. Well, Matt, that's the way to end it there. That's a nice, almost all the fish, nice 5-6 pounder,
Yep.
26, 25 inch or something like that. I mean, just a pretty fish.
Perfect, yep, perfect slot fish here.
It has been a spectacular day, and I can't thank you enough. That was awesome.
Yeah, man.
We'll get that one back in the water and take her to the barn. Oh man, what a day. That was an unbelievable day of fishing right there.